So good morning, my lovely yogis. Starting by relaxing on your mat in whichever position feels better for you. Sometimes it's seated, sometimes it's lying down. And if you know you're suffering a little bit in a certain area of the body, please really listen to your body. Satya, truth, ahimsa, non-harm. If there's a pose that I suggest and you know that it won't suit you, just try something else that you know will suit you or that you've been guided to do. It is your practice. And if there's a pose that you can do, then maybe just sort of coming into it very gently and explore how it feels. I think sometimes when the body is a little bit sensitive from time to time, it really draws our awareness so much more to what we're feeling throughout the body. We might notice somewhere else we get a sensation that we hadn't noticed before. So it makes us really look after ourselves a little bit more, I think, until it gets better. So have a moment to ground. Send your energy roots down through tailbone or feet. Just check in with how you're feeling today, where are you emotionally? Happy, sad, frustrated? Can we name the feeling that we're holding? And it's not about bypassing that feeling, trying to cover it up with something else. Just sit with it, explore it. It will pass. Emotion is energy in motion, emotion. So it does shift. So bringing your awareness to your breath for a few moments. Does it feel easy to breathe today? Can you notice a slight resistance in the way you're breathing? How does it reflect with life? Sometimes I do tune into the breath to notice how it reflects. The body can be a real mirror, and also other people can be a real mirror to us. An affirmation that I read earlier as I was walking the dog was, today, the people, along the lines of the people that I meet today will be a little bit of a mirror for myself. So I'll leave that with you, just in case you do come across people and they sort of mirror stuff for you or highlight things. So we're going to come into a meditation. If you're lying down, just have a nice stretch and then hug your knees in. And if you're already seated and you just want to move a little bit to get more comfortable, you can do. We'll take some quiet reflection time this morning. Just following the breath. No counting, no mantra. Just sometimes what can be a strange feeling or even uncomfortable, but just sitting with ourselves, sitting with the thoughts that drift in and out. But trying to be present in the moment with this practice. So when you do really go off on a tangent and a thought, try and catch yourself and then just come back to the breath and sit with yourself again. So 5 minutes, resting comfortably. Notice the way your head sits and try and keep the chin up a little so that when your eyes are closed, it almost looks like you're gazing to your third eye. Quite often when we meditate, the head starts to droop. So just sort of have that awareness of having a nice sort of level chin to the mat. So relaxing. Following the breath. Just witnessing your thoughts. And just noticing if you can sit in the gap between thoughts now and then. Noticing your thoughts. So let's just take one more breath. And blinking eyes open. Noticing if you could have stayed there longer or whether you were ready to come out after those 5 minutes. Some days I could stay longer, like I'd only just sort of really felt the lovely relaxing effects of it, and then other times I'm completely ready. 5 minutes was totally enough. Okay, so we're going to take a pose called mantis, which is like Hastabalasana, extended arms in the child's pose with the knees wide. If this aggravates hips, please avoid, just sort of alter the posture, come into something else. It might be nice to rest the belly or the chest onto a cushion. It feels quite supportive here. It then will relieve a little bit of the around the hips and pelvis. So try the poses. If they don't feel right, come into something else. This is a lovely stretch for your back, from head to tailbone. And just enjoying some deep breaths into the belly. As you breathe into the belly, you can feel all the opening up into the back of the body. Trying to relax the shoulders a little bit more, and your chest. And just notice if the body, even if it doesn't feel completely tight, if there's still a little bit of tension held throughout your body. Enjoying your breath. Keep trying to relax into the chest, and perhaps you can feel the softening in the shoulder blades and around the shoulders. And then we'll just take a few more breaths here. Lifting our head slowly, walking the hands back to the body. It's a deep compression, that posture. Lovely stretch for the knees and over the ankles. And then when we come out of it, it will feel quite refreshing through the legs. Just take your time. Just unfolding yourself, and then just allowing the spine to gently find its natural shape. Notice if you do hold tension initially in the belly while everything starts to settle gradually. And if you are feeling out of balance in the back, there is a tenderness, and just allow things to release ever so slowly when it feels safe enough. And then some lovely deep breaths. Feel the tingling perhaps in the legs now, the tops of the shins, stomach meridian, around the knees, thighs. And then when you're ready, let's just bring the right knee in and then the left knee. Gentle rock. I'm going to come up to for a forward fold in caterpillar. However, if you know this particular pose is going to aggravate you or not support you in any way, I'd suggest the counter pose. So rather than coming forward with the spine, if that's going to aggravate, then perhaps gently the opposite of coming into a seal. In fact, do you know what? I will give you all the option of what you prefer. As I say, my first suggestion was caterpillar. But if that doesn't feel right, please honour your body. If you do come into caterpillar and it starts to not feel right, please change. You can have something under the knees. Sometimes actually, if there is a bit of a tenderness in the back, you can start by having something under the knees. Even a bolster, you know, the long bolsters that we use can feel quite nice. It's not about coming into a perfect shape or how you think it should look. It's just sort of seeing where your body wants to go today. And perhaps being in the lower part of your threshold that you normally would explore. Let your legs relax. And just gently allow the body to move you when it feels like there's a little bit of room and space. So listening to your body, if it's starting to build a sensation or there's a little bit of screaming going on within, please alter your position. Breathing to belly. Let that movement move up into the chest. Relaxing your legs even more, even if they sort of relax and then you find they tense. Softening shoulders and upper back. So following your thoughts in these moments of silence.
Eventually the poses sometimes start to feel quite comfortable and there might be a little bit more movement for you. And then gently just take a breath or two. And we'll come up.
Nice and slowly. Relaxing down. Give your tail a little wag and maybe just gently rock into your pelvis a few times just to ease anything, and then relax. Be curious where you're still holding a bit of tightness, while you're telling your body to relax. Focusing on where you're feeling the after effects. And it's nice to take some deep breaths into the belly because it is quite nourishing all the way through to that lower back, that lumbar area. So we'll bring our knees in one at a time. We're going to counterpose that posture with either heart bench or bench. I'll leave it up to you. So rolling up, I actually was going to come into heart bench, but I've chosen myself actually. Having done caterpillar, I feel like this is the one that I want to do, is to lie over the pillow. If you do actually want to come into heart bench, by all means, grab your 2 blocks, one for the head, one that comes behind your back, and just sort of lying down and positioning it where it feels most comfortable. Sometimes it's not until the moment that you're offered sort of the choice of those 2 poses that you think, oh, actually, I'm really drawn instinctively to this one or that one. So please be guided. Change if you need to. If you need to adapt it. Perhaps you thought you'd go for the soft one and think, oh, actually, I fancy using the blocks. Whichever pose you've chosen, just make sure that you feel supported. There is no tension in your neck. And that you can breathe easily. Sometimes it's interesting to inquire within why you chose a certain pose. maybe the internal dialogue that comes back is that I need to be more gentle with myself today, and that choice supports that. Keep relaxing anywhere that you feel tension building. Soften your face as well. I often find that I hold a little bit of tension in my face, even if everything else seems relaxed. Relax the lower jaw. Try and soften around the muscles around the eyes. And just notice your breath, whether it naturally sort of seems to slow down. So, what's going through your mind? Are you present, or are you thinking past or future? This is a lovely pose for your heart and your throat. So if you have had coldiness, cough, it does help to balance the energetic imbalance in these areas. Let's take one more breath. And then slowly lifting your head, coming away either from your cushion or your blocks, and just lying down. Enjoying how that feels afterwards. I think those two postures are so lovely in their after effects. Again, try and relax in your body, even if there's the smallest bit of tension, lower back, perhaps around the buttocks or legs. Even where your arms are resting, there could be a little bit of tension in the upper arms and shoulders.
And then we'll hug in. Next, we're going to come into cat's tail, which is a twist. So if this doesn't suit you, just choosing a two-sided pose that you know will support you. So for cat's tail, just come back into that lying position. We're going to roll over onto our right-hand side. And if you have a pillow, a little cushion, I like to use this for the head. Coming onto your right-hand side, legs are stacked to start with, and then bringing the right knee over. If you're lying on a hard floor, it is always nice perhaps to just put a little bit of a folded blanket underneath your hip and your side so that you just feel more comfortable. And so cat's tail is if you can use your left arm to clasp your right foot. You'll feel a nice stretch around the knee and the quad muscle. If you can't grab your foot, don't worry, it's not essential. But then from here, you can either stay here on your side, and you might find that you just gently sort of rock and tilt, or you can actively roll your left shoulder back and come into a twist. Listen to your body, listen to your spine. Really try and support your head and neck, because you will feel a nice pull, but hopefully not too much of a pull along the left side of your neck to the edge of your shoulder if you're holding your foot. So if you come into this posture and it doesn't feel right, come out. Try something else that will support you. If you are here, then just relaxing your buttocks. Try to relax the sides of your waist and the abdominal muscles. Breathing to belly, up into the chest. Notice if you're holding any tension in your bent leg that you're holding. Nice loose grip. How do you feel in this pose today? Does it feel good? Can you roll back a little bit? Does that feel right? Or if it doesn't, come back to where you were. Again, let everything relax, because often when you move, the tension just creeps back in. If your movement doesn't feel quite right, please adjust. How does this pose feel today? Does it feel nice? What's your feelings about it? Sometimes poses we come into feel absolutely amazing and we love them. Others we're just sort of tolerating while we're here. And then sometimes the emotions can change where we actually quite like it towards the end. So one more breath. Releasing your foot. Slowly, do one thing at a time. Start to roll a little back onto your right hand side, and then you can stretch your leg out and come onto your back, slowly lifting your body into place. And then just taking the time to notice the differences that you feel from one side of the body to the other, from whichever pose or alteration you took. How do you feel? Where can you feel the imbalance from one side to the other in certain parts of the body? And also, where is the chi moving for you? Okay, so bring these in. Have a gentle rock. Twists will always activate your digestive system. So noticing how that feels. And then we're going to roll up to seated and then come over to the other side. Again, grab your cushion. Lying on your left for cat's tail. Legs are stacked. And then we draw that right knee over, almost like recovery position. Grab your left foot with your right hand. And then either resting your head in your hand or using a cushion. Just start to explore this posture. Taking your own time to roll back into it, only if it feels right. Relaxing your neck. So noticing how this feels around the lower part of your spine. And trying to relax the size of your waist and your buttocks again, this side. If it feels twingy at all, try not to roll back too much. Just resting on your side with your leg over is a little bit of a twist. How does it feel this side? Is it easier to get into? Is it more awkward? It's taking you a little bit longer to settle? How does the breath feel? Keep trying to relax if you find there's a bit of tension in the leg that you're holding. Even in your right leg that's bent in front of you, check in with your calf muscle and ankle. Does one side feel better than the other? So a few more breaths. Gently releasing your foot if you're holding. Stretch your leg out. Come back onto your side and then roll over. What are your initial thoughts as you come into neutral spine Shavasana? Does it feel, oh, that feels quite nice. That's nice to feel that in the, perhaps the tingling in the left side of the body. What else do you notice that feels good? I often find it's not until after you come out the pose that you can really feel the lovely benefits of it. Depending on the pose. Deep breaths. What do you feel? Where do you feel it? How does it make you feel? And then gently we'll bring our knees in. We're going to come into our final pose. Waterfall. Lovely gentle inversion. So if you have that cushion that you were perhaps using earlier, it's nice to just wedge it gently under the buttocks. It's quite supportive of the lower spine here as well. If you've got a blanket you want to pop over your feet, that can be nice and cosy. Otherwise we'll just take this lovely pose, resting your feet against a wall if you have it. Let your eyes close. You can draw your awareness to your third eye, Ajna. If you wish, you can just tuck the chin down ever such a little bit and then engage Ujjayi breath, that snoring ocean sort of sound of a breath. Very good for your throat chakra. If you do enjoy Ujjayi, it really is quite lovely to meditate on the sound that your breath creates, like it is the ocean. And just focusing on that can be a lovely way to just remain present. Nice slow breaths. So we'll just gently lower the feet, bend the knees. Find Shavasana. Enjoying whatever you're feeling. And then coming into relaxation, lying on your back or coming up to seated, whatever feels right for you. If you want a few more moments lying down, please take that time. What pose feels comfortable and supports you? So as always, you have this lovely last part of your class to relax on your mats. Making sure you're nice and cozy and warm. It might be nice to pop a blanket over your shoulders if you're seated, or certainly if you're lying down. Even if you're not cold, I think just having that little bit of fabric over you, it feels comfortable, nurturing. So relaxing head, face, all around the neck. And perhaps visualizing a lovely royal blue around your throat. If you feel out of balance here with cold, cough, try and wear blue scarf, blue necklace. Relaxing shoulders and arms.
Softening around the chest and the back. If you suffer with the back pain, depending on where it is, if it's lower back, try and introduce orange or magenta into your colour, your auric field. Eat orange things. Perhaps wear an amber necklace or something that resonates with that colour. Relaxing all the way down the legs now to the feet. Think about grounding your feet into the earth. And you can choose in your mind whether that is sinking your feet into sand, feeling the sand squeeze between your toes, or whether you can imagine walking on a dry summer's day, on a lawn, in a park, soft blanket of grass beneath your feet. But the important part is to be barefoot. So imagining this now is to have that connection to the earth, no barrier of shoes or socks or flip-flops. There is said to be a lot of healing to be had from earthing your feet and connecting them into Mother Earth. And there are machines and devices that can test the energy flow when you're standing on the earth. So in this imagined space where your feet are connected directly to Mother Earth, I'd like you to further your imagination and almost see a flow of energy, like a current, moving between you and the soil or the sand. Perhaps you see it in colour. And you can see a two-way current. Perhaps you see white or a colour of your choice as you draw up the positive energy from the earth. You draw it into your legs. That energy flows through all of the nadis, the 72,000 nadi channels of energy that flow through our body. And you can see perhaps a dark, murky brown or a black colour of all the energy that you would like to release, flowing through the soles of your feet, down back into Mother Earth for transmutation. Draw up anything that you feel supports you, whether it is a physical aspect, a mental, emotional, a characteristic. Just seeing this two-way flow of energy between you and the Great Mother. As you sit there a little bit longer, just notice what thoughts have come through your mind with that visualization. Perhaps you'd like to release down into the earth a habit that you have that you know doesn't support you. And you'd like to get rid of that one and draw up a quality of perhaps discipline or perseverance or tolerance with a new habit or essence of your life. A commitment to something that you know would support you even more. So think about aspects of yourself that you'd like to release and draw near. And you can take this one with you through your day. Every now and then when your thoughts come back to every step you take on the ground, perhaps you can think about what you would like to release and what you would like to draw into your life. A walking meditation, perhaps. So very gently, just starting to come back into your day. Bit of gentle movement. Fingers, toes, moving the head. A few conscious breaths. Always love to focus on the temperature around the nostrils when I breathe consciously, that coolness as you breathe in, and there's ever such a slight warmth around the ring of the nostrils as you breathe out. A very powerful practice just for a few moments to come back to in your day. If you're lying down, have a nice stretch. And then when you're ready, you can draw your knees in. Take your time, listen to your body as you move, even in these gentle ways. We're very lucky to have our yoga practice that brings us into a real state of awareness of our body. Many people don't. They ignore so many little signs and signals and nagging inner beliefs and dialogue. When you get on your mat, you can't ignore it, you feel it, you have to be present. So rolling up gently, joining me seated. And then we'll draw our hands together. Om Shanti. Namaste.